Yes, Your Honor. Very, very briefly, I would actually call Detective Adam Reese, who I believe is in the court.
Okay.
You swear the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Detective Reese, as part of your investigation in this case, did you pull criminal history reports on Mr. Blaise Taylor?
Yes.
Do those include NCIC sort of nationwide background checks?
Yes.
In your investigation of criminal history on Mr. Taylor, did you find any prior criminal history?
No, I did not.
Thank you, that's it.
Any question?
No.
Okay. All right, who's the next witness?
Your Honor, we would call Evelyn Taylor.
Okay.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, so help you God? I do.
It's Dr. Taylor, right?
Yes.
Dr. Taylor, can you please state your full name and spell it for me?
It's Evelyn Taylor, EVELYN-TAYLOR.
And Dr. Taylor, what is your relationship to Blaise Taylor?
He's my son,
And how many children do you have, Dr. Taylor?
too.
And is Blaise your older child or younger child?
He's my oldest.
And how old are your two children?
30 and 28.
So, Mr. Taylor is how old?
He's 30.
Where do you live, Dr. Taylor?
I live in Texas.
Can you tell us a little bit about who Blaise Taylor is?
Yes. He's the best son I could ever ask for. He's a loving son, a loving brother, a loving grandson, a loving nephew, a loving friend. He's never given me any problems. All throughout school, he was an A student. He was always the teacher's pet. In fact, his kindergarten teacher still keeps up with them to this day. He liked to help other children with their schoolwork because it just naturally came so quick to him. And the teachers would always comment about that. He loves sports. He wanted to follow in his father's footsteps, and so he played sports. Every time we moved, he made a lot of friends. He was team captain and leadership. He was a team leader. A lot of the parents would come to me and tell me that how much respect they had for him. He was a good student in the classroom and in sports, and he was the type of boy that they wanted their children to hang around because he was never getting in any kind of trouble and was very respectful.
Where did this? I'm gonna interject for a minute. Where did Mr. Taylor grow up?
We lived all over. He was born in Texas, but because of my husband's profession, we move every few years. So we lived in Texas. From there, we went to New Mexico, and then Louisiana, and then Tennessee, then Oklahoma, and then Alabama, and then Arkansas.
And is it fair to say sports are kind of a big deal for your family?
Yes.
So you mentioned he was very involved in sports. What sports specifically was Mr. Taylor involved in?
Well, his favorite sport was football.
And that's real big in your family.
Yes.
Right? When did he start playing football?
When he was 5 years old.
And how long did he play?
He played through college, and then he got an invite to try out for the New Orleans Saints upon graduation or after his senior year.
And he ended up not pursuing it professionally?
He didn't make the team, the Saints.
How did he, let's start with high school. How did he perform in football in high school?
He was a team captain in high school, one of the leaders on the team. He actually graduated early. He graduated a semester early so he can go to college early.
And you mentioned a little bit about his grades while he was team captain and playing football. How were his grades in high school?
All A's.
And then where did he end up going to college?
He went to Arkansas State University.
And I think we heard a little bit about that during the trial. Did he play football in college also?
Yes, he played football in college, and he actually graduated with his bachelor's and his master's degree in business in 2.5 years. He was the first college football player to ever do that. And while he was there, he started a nonprofit, the Power 1 or 2. He's very passionate about helping children in underserved areas and communities. And so while in college, he and his sister co-founded that nonprofit. And they just did a lot of community events for those children, mentored them. He was a big brother. He volunteered at the alternative school. And his senior year, I think he went like 3 times a week.
Does that nonprofit still exist?
The nonprofit still exists. They've actually given almost like over $90,000 in scholarships. They help each year. They do school supply drives for kids in underserved areas. They do Thanksgiving baskets and adopt a kid for Christmas for children that don't have resources to get presents for Christmas. Pretty much whatever the needs are wherever we live in the community. They just try to serve those children and just meet their needs.
And you said Mr. Taylor's sister was involved in that as well?
Yes. So if you talk to his sister Star, she'll say that he's her role model. She followed behind in his footsteps, and she's an A student as well. And if you ask her why does she make A's, she'll say because Blaise did. Why do you play basketball? Because Blaise did. From the time she was little, he would help her put her shoes on the right feet. When I was her coach, she would be looking at him, and even though he was only in junior high, she valued his opinion and wanted to hear what he was saying, what she can do better, how she can improve. Whether it was in the classroom, whether it was with sports, whether it was trivia things or whatever, whenever she needed advice, she would say that she would go to her brother.
And is Blaise's sister here? Has she been here?
She is. She has been.
Is your family close?
We're a very close-knit family. When we move a lot, we know we have each other, and then every time we move, we make several moves, but we always find like adopted families wherever we are. Usually it's through sports, the kids on their sports teams, and then they become a part of our family.
I know that this process has been very hard. Does Mr. Taylor have support still from your family?
Oh yes, he has support from our family. We have family members here. It's just hard because we're not from Tennessee. And we've had lots of different moves, so people that we're close to are in various states across the U.S.
So when Mr. Taylor started working for the Titans, which we heard a bit about, he was in Tennessee and you were still in Texas?
No, we were in North Carolina at that time.
You were in North Carolina. Okay. Did you have an opportunity, did you keep up with sort of how he was doing at work?
In work, yes. We talk regularly, and football's a big part of our family. That's what his dad does, so we have lots of conversations about work.
What's your impression of Blaise's work ethic?
Oh, he has a really good work ethic. If you ask anybody that knows him, that's one of the characteristics they'll say. He's a hard worker. He's always on time. He'll be one of the first ones there. He's going to make sure that he gets the job done. He has a really good work ethic in everything he does, whether it was his schoolwork, an actual job where he's getting paid, whether it's the non-service, he always goes above and beyond.
Okay. How about, are there any other, we talked a little bit about the nonprofit, are there any other kinds of community involvement or examples that you can think about from Blaise's life, either recently or longer ago, that you can tell the jury about?
Well, he has a servant's heart, so he does a lot of community service. Usually wherever we live, like with his dad, the football teams usually do community service, so he would be involved in various things that they do. I know one thing, like when he was in high school, where he was actually old enough to make a decision to do those things, he was really involved with the Miracle League. And so that's something he did throughout high school, with big brother type programs, mentoring younger children, he would do that. And then when he was in college, he just did a lot of community service, like I was telling you about, like for his nonprofit, but it was primarily through being a big brother and volunteering at the alternative school. So being a mentor, he had a little brother that was assigned to him, and he would bring him to football practice and let him watch. He would go to school and help him with his homework and do things of that nature. And then when he volunteered, I believe it was the 3rd grade classroom at the alternative school, he would just encourage them to do their schoolwork, to respect their teacher, and if they made their points for the week, he would come and he'd bring teammates, and then they would play dodgeball and things like that. And if they had a good week and a good report, he would let them come with him to, or he'd get tickets for them to come to the football game. And he was really involved with the community baskets, and we would do community Thanksgiving dinners. I think one of the things that I'm most proud of Blaise for was one time when he was in college, we were in church, and they were doing baptisms. And I didn't know this because he didn't tell me this. I'm just watching the baptism, and all the people come up and give testimonies, and it was a young college girl, and she said, I just want to thank Blaise because he really shared about the Lord to me. And he's really instrumental in my relationship with the Lord and my baptism. And all the accolades that he had, like in the classroom or on the field, they were nothing compared to what I feel like he did for this young lady that said that she's a friend that just went to the university. And just the fact that he was instrumental in her being baptized, it's those types of things that make me really proud of Blaise.
Dr. Taylor, one Thank you, Dr. Taylor. I think that's all. Well, let me ask this. Is there anything else you think you want to share with the jury that I haven't asked you about?
Your Honor, I would object to being that open-ended.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
All right. Any questions from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you.
That is the defense's proof.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you'll step down the hallway just briefly, we'll talk with the attorneys about legal issues and then get you right back. You can have a seat. And just for the record, Mr. Bland, like we did the other phase of the trial, let Mr. Taylor step around and deal with his decision not to testify. If you raise your right hand and be sworn.
Do you swear to tell the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Mr. Taylor, you understand that at the sentencing phase of the trial, you have an absolute right to make a statement to the jury.
I do.
You also don't have to say anything. You have the absolute right to remain silent.
I do.
And we have discussed that option and the pros and cons, and whether you want to make a statement at this point in time.
Yes.
And based on those discussions, you made the decision that you're not going to make a statement or otherwise testify.
Yes.
And that's your own decision.
Yes.
All right, he can have a seat. And then Mr. Brand, in terms of the mitigating circumstances that I'd instruct the jury would be the defendant has no significant history of prior criminal activity. Set out the other mitigating factor raised by the evidence consisting of, and what do you contemplate the court instructing the jury there?
Trying to think of how to phrase this, Your Honor.
Right. I mean, excellent student.
I might. What if we said, community involvement, prior acts of service, support system, and educational and personal achievements? That maybe in the ballpark?
Or community involvement, education, and personal achievement, and what was the other?
Acts of service.
Active service?
Acts of service.
Acts. Or does the state care to be heard on that?
No, Your Honor, I think they come under the catch-all.
Okay, and I was planning on setting forth that catch-all about any other mitigating, but then consisting of, and then listing.
Yes, Your Honor, I think that would be appropriate under the case law.
And then charge as to in terms of aggravating circumstances in counts 2, the murder was committed against a person less than 12 and the defendant was 18 years of age or older, and the murder was knowingly committed, solicited during the commission of the language there about another first-degree murder.
Yes, Your Honor.
Accurate. And in 3, it would just be that felony murder type language.
Yes, Your Honor.
And 4 would be both again.
Yes, sir.
Well, both
Yes,
again. All right, anything further from the state in terms of jury instruction?
Not without having seen that.
Do you want 10 minutes before we come back with the closing arguments? And I can give you the draft.
Just want to make sure that I don't say anything that's not going to be on the,
Okay.
in the charge.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would appreciate seeing the jury instructions, but we don't need much time.
Okay, all right, give the court just 6 minutes.
Court in a brief recess.